Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Omega. Welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today we got a few things I want to talk to you guys about. First off, we're going to talk about some cool voice line concepts that I found on Reddit. We're going to go over what those could look like in the actual game. We also have some potential Bangalore changes that might be coming in the future of Apex Legends. I'll talk about that in the middle of the video, and then finally at the end, we're going to talk about how some of the Apex Legends writers and a ton of people just in the community are very upset at Dataminers, and actually they called out a lot of them on Twitter, a lot of behind the scenes drama with Dataminers and Apex Legends. So that's gonna be all covered in today's video. Drop a like on this video if you guys enjoyed. But yeah, we're gonna start off today's video with some voice line concepts. Now, these were actually made by a guy named It's Chris 2608 on Reddit. He created these voice lines that Legends could say after they get a headshot with a sniper. Obviously, we're in the armed and dangerous game mode right now, so if that game mode ever does come back, it'd be really cool to have voice lines that tell your teammates when you get a headshot with a sniper. I think that's actually like kind of a good idea to add into the game, just because, you know, getting a headshot with a sniper means that you just dealt a ton of damage to one person. And since Apex is a game that is all about like communicating through pings and nonverbal communication, I think this would be a really good indicator for your team of when you can actually rush the enemy. You know, if you pop someone in the head with the Sentinel, you're going to do a ton of damage, and these voice lines will help to alert your team that that actually happened. So let me know down in the comments if you guys think this is a good idea, if you guys like these voice lines. Personally, I think it's something small they could add that would really make a huge difference into the gameplay. We also got some news of a potential new change coming to Bangalore. So a lot of people just on Twitter and kind of in the background have been talking about how Bangalore could use a couple changes to kind of update her with the rest of the Legends. Personally, I think Bangalore is in a really good spot right now. I think she is one of the most well-balanced Legends in the game, but since there are a ton of other Legends that have gotten a bunch of changes recently, you know, people are wanting more changes coming to Bangalore. And we actually got a tweet from Jason McCord, who is the director of design over at Respawn, basically saying, after hearing a lot of Bangalore comments lately, it got us chatting about it. Nothing on the books, but we hear you. So this is kind of just a small tweet to acknowledge the fact that they understand that Bangalore could be in a better position than she is right now. A lot of the people complaining about Bangalore are saying that her ultimate is not that great because it takes way too long to charge up, and there's really no way that you could control her ultimate, which I think is one of the biggest complaints, is that you can't activate Bangalore's ultimate after you throw it. Like, you have to wait until the bombs actually go off themselves. You can't do it on your own, and having the ability to actually activate her ultimate would mean that it could charge up faster because you could use it faster, and you could also just time it for when you actually need to use it. So you'd have a lot more control over it, and I definitely agree, because right now Gibraltar's ultimate is actually a shorter cooldown than Bangalore's is right now, and I think we can all agree that Gibraltar's ultimate is much better at doing damage, at clearing areas, and keeping people off of, you know, your team. I understand Bangalore's ultimate covers a wider area, and it's definitely better for countering third partiers or just having people to, you know, kind of back off if they're rushing over to you. But at the same time, you know, if it's not doing as much damage as Gibraltar's ultimate, it should probably have a shorter cooldown than Gibraltar's ultimate. So that is one change that I think could potentially come to Bangalore in the future. We also got a tweet from Tom Cassiello, who was responding to a fan basically asking if the narrative of Apex Legends would ever focus on Bangalore Story. And Tom Cassiello, who's actually one of the writers over at Respawn, responded to this tweet saying, "What a great question, and yes, we just finished work on some pieces that will address this as well. Bangalore's journey is one of the most fascinating ones to us. As a woman who followed orders, did what she was told, and fit the world into compartmentalized boxes to be able to," and then he just kind of goes on and talks about how Bangalore's story affected her as a character, but he's basically confirming that they just finished working on something for Bangalore that could confirm or just further explain her backstory, because I think a lot of people want to know more about Bangalore. I'm hoping that they do maybe like a town takeover with some sort of Bangalore changes. I think that would be really awesome for Bangalore mains out there, but I do still think she's in a pretty good position. We'll just have to wait and see on what actually happens. But then finally, the last part of this video, I just want to go over some things that were actually happening behind the scenes on Twitter. Tom Cassiello, who, like I mentioned before, is one of the writers over at Respawn, and he actually went on a huge rant calling out all Dataminers for Apex Legends. As you guys know, most of us YouTubers get our content from Dataminers, who leak stuff to the community before it is actually announced by Respawn themselves. So these are the series of tweets that Tom sent. I'm just going to go over the main parts of them, and then we're going to talk about whether I agree or disagree with what he has to say. So first part of this tweet is he says, okay, let's get serious for a second. I need to make something clear. If your purpose on the internet is to spoil and leak things to fans ahead of time, and who cares if they glance past your half-assed spoil alert in the first line, I have zero use for you, and you will be blocked. Maybe some of my colleagues have a higher tolerance for this kind of thing, but I've been dealing with these selfish little twits hungry for internet fame for 25 years. First in soaps, one guy dug through trash for our scripts, then in wrestling, and I'm pretty sure he worked at WWE for a period of time. The writing team works damn hard to keep a relentless schedule of reveals and plot twists and beats meticulously spread out over the week, month, a year. You ruin it for thousands of people in 10 seconds, all for a lousy like or follow. So I want to be really direct here. I think you're small and my policy is usually to ignore you, but don't assume my silence is a sign of my approval. In fact, while I know no one's hurt and it's just not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, and it's not, it does speak volumes that you're so desperate for attention you'll ruin other people's fun if it means folks know your screen name. I think that's pretty freaking shitty if we're being honest. I'm not interested in anything else you have to say on this subject or any other subject, and I damn sure have no use for you on my timeline. And for the record, these are my thoughts and do not reflect Respawn or EA. This one's all me. You're not smart or in the know. You're just some dude who cuts corners. You're average cheater, and I personally think you suck. So Tom made a lot of great points in this post. Let me just kind of like clear up some things. I'm pretty sure he is right now talking about people who are spoiling the quests in Apex Legends, man, because you know we all know that data miners and leaks happen in every single game. It's almost impossible to not have leaks in your game, but game developers try to control that as best as possible. But right now, what's happening over on Twitter is that a lot of data miners are posting tweets relating to potential leaks within the quest lines, and a lot of people are now following these quest lines. They want to understand where the story is taking them. They don't want it to be spoiled for them. And what these data miners are doing is in the first part of their tweet, they're just kind of saying spoiler alert. And then afterwards is when they explain what the spoiler is, which isn't really, you know, that great of a spoiler alert because you can see the entire tweet when it's tweeted. So unless you kind of start from the top and only read spoiler alert and then scroll by, you're most likely going to get something leaked to you that you didn't want leaked before. Understandably, these data miners are also saying that, you know, you don't have to follow me. It's okay if you want to block me. They still just want to be data miners and leak this stuff out to people who do care about it, because there are a decent amount of people in the community who would say that data miners are important and that leaks are important to the game. Personally, I don't think leaks do anything to the game. I think there's a very small percentage of people who actually find out these leaks just through Twitter or YouTube, and I think the rest of the people who play Apex Legends just enjoy getting new content when it comes out. You know, they're not following the game that much where they even get leaks in the first place. So personally, I don't think leaks affect the popularity of a game. I think if leaks somehow just disappeared, I don't think this game would lose any popularity that it has right now. So, you know, that I see both sides of the argument, and personally, you know, I haven't been following any leaks relating to the quest line because I don't even want to get involved with that. I want people to be surprised when they play the quest, and I want to actually respect the writers who put in so much time to think of all of these plot lines and twists. I mean, you got to imagine that this writing team is out there, you know, working all day, every day just to make sure that this game is entertaining for us and that we get surprises and that the flow of the content just makes sense. And so everything that happens in this game is written by these kinds of people. And I just have to say that, you know, data miners, it does suck that they are, you know, spoiling it for everyone. It also sucks for the writers that they are working so hard and people are finding out what's going to happen ahead of time. It's kind of a shitty situation, and there's really nothing that either side can do. So I understand completely why he's making this tweet, but mainly I want to hear what you guys have to think about the situation. Do you guys agree with data miners or leakers doing these kind of spoiler alert tweets? This thread of tweets also got some responses from other personalities in the Apex community. Roger Craig Smith, who's the voice of Mirage, said, "Loved every word of this, spot on." We also got a tweet from Johnny Young, who's the voice of crypto, just saying agreed. One guy saying, okay, but there's data miners and leakers in every single game. That's what they do. Maybe if y'all actually communicated with the community, then they wouldn't exist. There's still a lot of people who don't look at these leaks, and data miners don't leak everything. So there's a lot of people who, like I said before, are on both sides of the spectrum. I think this is really up to just like personal opinion on whether you think data miners should be in the game, or whether you think that they're helpful to the game, or whether they hurt it. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about this situation. If you guys think that data miners should be in the game and that leaks help the game, please let me know down in the comments below. And then obviously if you guys are on the other side of the spectrum and you think they should not be in the game and that leaks actually ruin things like the quest line, definitely let me know down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like down below, and I will see you guys on the next vid. Have a great day. Peace out.